I'm Sal.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Tiffany.
Today we're going to review Super Sons #1.
Written by Peter J. Tomasi.
With art by Jorge Jimenez.
And then we're going to review our recommendations books that come out this week on the 22nd of February. Let's get into it. Super Sons #1. I've been looking forward to this book for a long time. Let's talk about the writing first. What do you guys think of the writing of Super Sons #1, Ben?
This was a cool book. I really dug this. It was just a great interaction between Superboy and Robin. Just a very fun thing, and especially with Robin being like, I don't have to do anything in Gotham because I'm homeschooled, and you're like, that explains a lot. Oh, Batman's your teacher?
I think it's more like Alfred is his teacher, which
very good point.
In that case is give or take, depending on whether you argue that Alfred is a good father figure or not.
And there was one Alfred line in this entire book, and it really spoke to his and Damien's relationship.
Technically, it would be the League of Shadows that educated him because it was Talia who actually gave him his education.
Yes,
you didn't put your glasses up.
I'm just saying that is where he got technically homeschooled originally. That's where the bad attitude comes from.
That's true.
I thought that he did a great job. And we'd already seen this a little bit in Superman, and he just kept the awesomeness going. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like a huge, disembarking from the sample we got in Superman. It was just, he really understands these characters, he really understands their upbringing, and he just knows how to write for kids, which is really hard to do sometimes.
Yeah, it really is. I love this story. I love the writing by Tomasi. I love the handling of character, like you said. Mm-hmm. And apparently Tomasi wrote Batman and Robin with when Dick Grayson had taken over.
Okay.
So he's an old hand at writing the Damian character as well. So if it felt really good, it's because he wrote a whole bunch of stories about Damian as well. So he's developed that. Yeah, the dude knows how to jump into both these characters. So I don't know who was originally supposed to be doing this book, but I can't even imagine how it would have succeeded without Tomasi at the helm.
This was a good call. This is definitely a good call. And we got to see him write Batman as a dad.
Yes.
In one panel, which is this is spectacular.
Yeah. What do you guys think of the art for this story? I'll start. I loved it. I have loved Jimenez's pencils on Superman, and I think he is, if not the definitive artist on this title, even though it's #1, he will be.
Yeah.
No question. Ben, what'd you think of the art?
Oh, I think he drew kids fantastically.
Yeah, they don't look like midgets or weird hodgepodges of adults.
No.
It's great.
They were very unique and very fun to draw, or I should say fun to look at.
Yeah.
I'm sure they were fun to draw, kind of, but no, I can't really speak to that.
That's fair. Tiffany?
I had a real problem with... I'm kidding. I loved every aspect.
How was the coloring?
I love the coloring of this one. I really did. No, I really like the art for this book. They draw kids where they're just tiny adults. It's that's weird. These boys are at that kind of awkward stage. Where, everything's like gangling and long.
Yeah.
Feet are too big and all that. And I really like it. And am I wrong? Did this book have a little homage to Dark Knight?
Yes. Yeah, with John and Damian both jumping
with the lightning
bolt behind them. I don't know why. I was like, this is totally inappropriate, but it's fun to see, I guess.
It was really
It's just whatever. If you want to do it, fine, knock yourself out.
It was really cool.
I'll begrudge them a little bit of...
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Mini Spawn is also there.
Yeah.
I'm here too.
Yeah, Spawn Jr.
It's a good to look at book.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of kids having a good time being in danger.
Yeah.
It's not juvenile though.
No.
Because it's easy to go that way because there are plenty of comics out there, and there's nothing wrong with this. Where they are drawn for kids, they're brightly colored. They're what I mean. They're stylized towards a younger audience, right? But this is a comic that is for would be all ages as well as adults.
Yeah. Without
making it too scaled down or scaled one way or the other.
Yeah.
So I think that's really cool.
I feel like it had shades of Ultimate Spider-Man, where it was an accurate depiction of the age of the character, and being able to balance both real world seriousness and superheroics and the kind of emotional maturity of the character, and where they would be in their age range. I just thought it was well handled.
Yeah.
It's just overall, everything looks great. Everything's written great.
Yeah.
I saw this was not the #1 pulled book on Comixology, which is a crime. So if you have not picked up Super Sons yet, go get it.
Because Tomasi's writing this and Superman.
Yes.
John in both books is perfect. You know what I mean? You don't have to deal with any sort of inconsistencies between the two characters. Damian is so cemented in a specific way. I think it's easier for other people to write for Damian in other books and have it still kind of work.
Well,
here.
Damian is so more defined because he's been around for longer. Like, you've had more stories that you can point to and say Damian would act like this, or he would do this.
Like, literally, the Superman book was John having an adventure with, was it Kathy?
Yeah, with his girlfriend.
Yeah, and she's adorable, but you know what I mean? Like, the adventure he has there and the adventure he has with Damian, completely different, but he reacts the way appropriately for each of them.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, he behaves consistently. It's easier to mess up the John character because there's so few stories about him and written for him. So I'm actually kind of dreading the next writer to handle John, because Tomasi's kind of been, it's him and like Jurgens who've written for John, and that's it.
But maybe the next person will take this as a jumping off point, and use this as the template.
As long as they're inspired by Tomasi's, and I guess to another extent Jurgens' depiction, I think it'll work.
Yeah.
But it's scary because it's a new character, and I like this new character as opposed to so many new characters coming through the pipeline that I'm like, I don't care. You can write him however you want, whatever.
Yeah.
John, I like John. I want him to succeed. Don't mess him up.
Just give this to me.
Yeah, just don't let Sal needs this.
If I had one gripe about this book, it's that it ended too soon.
Ooh.
And I want more. But that's not a bad thing. No. That just makes me want to pick up the next issue.
Oh, yeah, the last page reveal is very, oh, well, I can't wait. Yeah, you had a critique about that. Not a critique,
I didn't have a critique. I literally, because we had it on Comixology, so I'm doing the guided view, and I'm swiping through, and all of a sudden the book was over, and I had that moment where I went and I did the double tap to see how many pages there were, because I was like, we must have been cheated out of pages because of how quick the read was.
Yeah.
And I was like, nope, it's the exact same amount of pages it should be for this price. And it wasn't like they shortchanged us story-wise, it's just has such a good flow that it's an effortless read.
That's right. It reads really fast. That's why it feels like an Ultimate Spider-Man book, because Ultimate Spider-Man also read like nobody's business.
Yeah.
You could just eat through pages.
Exactly. Look, there are plenty of stories about kids out there, right? But like only some of them. I don't know. This is like seems classic already.
I agree.
A sense.
Yeah.
And we've only really had like one issue and then a couple of like
we had a two-parter
issues.
Yeah.
In like another book essentially. But already I'm just like I love these characters. I love them together.
Yeah, I agree.
See where they go.
So there you go, everybody. Can we recommend Super Sons #1?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Obviously, go pick up Super Sons #1. It came out last week. You can get it digitally or at your friendly local comic book store. Go get it and advise your friends to do the same, because you want to be on the ground floor for this series, because while I'm not thrilled by the name Super Sons, I loved the pitch so much that I'm like, I don't care what it's called, just this.
Just keep writing it.
And I hate Damian, and I still love this series. So please, that should be enough for you.
That is really saying a lot.
It really does.
You know what it is, too? Like, I'm sure part of the reason you're kind of okay with the hand-waving the title is that it's Super Son, so it harkens more to Superman than it does to Batman. And
I love Batman, though. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's not Damian's friend. Which would be, I'd be griping through it,
Well, that's a lie. Damian doesn't have friends.
That's true.
Damian and this chump.
Yeah.
Because Damian wrote it.
It's true, Damian's chump. Damian wrote over Super Sons. That would be a thing. That'll be a thing at some point in the future. Anyway, so let's get into books that we're recommending that are coming out this week. Brand new books that you can pick up at your local comic book store or online.
So it should be no surprise that this week I'm recommending Extraordinary X-Men #19. Wait, this is an Inhumans vs. X-Men tie-in? Never mind! I am recommending Elektra #1, written by Matt Owens. I'm afraid I'm not entirely sure who the art is by, because on the websites, it actually changed. I was on the Marvel website. It's like, art by this person, and then on the mobile site, it's like, art by this other person, so who knows? All I know is that Elektra's going to be in Las Vegas, and apparently she's going up against Arcade. And if Arcade is going to have fun anywhere, it's going to be Las Vegas. All those machines around, just creating death traps and wonderful puzzles. I am on board for that. I think it's going to be real cool, so I think you should check it out.
This week was rough for me, so I'm going to recommend Hulk #3 from Mariko Tamaki and Nico Leone. This series is great. I was delayed in reading them, and I bought them digitally, and then I just had them stacked up, and I was going through some books a couple weeks ago, and I saw them in my queue, and I went, oh yeah, I didn't read these. And so I got to read Hulk 1 and 2 right in succession, and I love this series. I think it looks great. I think it's written beautifully. I think that it handles loss and post-traumatic stress in a really tasteful way, and it also has no hulking out yet, and I'm excited to see the actual new Hulk that Jennifer Walters will embody. It's just a really, really well-handled and well-executed book. For how long it will be, I have no idea. I can't say how long the book's going to last, but I can say that we should support books that are of this level of quality. So check it out.
For this week, I'm going to recommend Champions #1, the Monsters Unleashed tie-in, because I'm a fan of Champions, and I'm a fan of the Monsters Unleashed whole thing that's going on. Again, I'm trying not to use the E word. So the story that's happening right now, I really dug Doctor Strange's tie-in last week by Chip Zdarsky. So I'm going to check out the Champions one, again, because I like the Champions. It's written by Jeremy Whitley with art by Ted Brandt. I'm just kind of looking forward to this little standalone story. I think it'll be a lot of fun, so there we go. And then just over in Image real quick, Curse Words #2 is coming out this week, written by Charles Soule with art by Ryan Brown. I like his story of Wizard, the, like, you know, high society, you know, celebrity sorcerer who landed in New York and through unconventional and unethical means has risen to stardom, essentially, and the group of individuals who are coming after him. So I look forward to looking at, like, to checking this out. I mean, I love Doctor Strange because he is a semi-good guy, essentially, who, like, protects the world, and this is a wizard of a different sort who's kind of a jerk and just likes fame and fortune, so I think that's kind of cool. Also from Image, there's a one-shot coming out this week called The Belfry, and by the cover alone, I'm picking this book up. I like the idea of the story, too, but seriously, the cover for this is gorgeous. It's about an airline that crashes in the jungle, and about how escaping said jungle, the Belfry, essentially, will potentially strip away your humanity, and I think that's really, really cool. This is written by Gabriel Hardman, and who also does the art. This guy is also the gentleman who will be doing the storyboards, or has done the storyboards for Logan, so I think that's pretty cool, and I cannot wait to pick it up.
There you have it, everybody. Those are all the books that are fit to print as far as we were concerned. Thanks a lot for checking out this episode where we reviewed Super Sons #1 and gave you our recommendations for books that are coming out this week. We'll see you guys next week with another episode Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Tiffany.
So long and keep reading.
Every time you do that, I think you're not going to make it through.
I know. Sometimes I don't.